All right, Sterling. So let's talk about most of your accomplishments. Like, so what are some good things that you've implemented for the city of Lynchburg?
I have three main agendas for my city council ward and my city council election. The main ones are education empowerment, safe communities, and also business empowerment. So as far as for the education empowerment, I sponsor work at the Jubilee Center, so I sponsor after school tutoring programs. I continue to encourage people to volunteer with our school system. We can throw stones at our school system or throw stones at the rate of graduation rate or things of that nature. But what are we doing to make those stones into pebbles? What are we doing to get rid of those stones, those
Yeah.
roadblocks? So it's gonna take all of us. We can't just say right now. What's so interesting is with the pandemic, where we have thrown the teachers under the bus. Now the parents are the teachers. So now we're at the place where we have got to see. For example, if you have a little Johnny at your house right now, and you're trying to teach him math, you're trying to teach him English, you're trying to teach him Spanish or literature, this is your opportunity to teach, and this is your opportunity to see. Wow, now I understand why Miss Sally is having problems with little Johnny.
Yeah,
You know,
5 groups of
and
30
also
kids.
this is your opportunity to advance your child in the studies. This pandemic has taught us so many things, and it's going to be up to the parents who take it by the bullhorn and use the opportunity to help train their children. My fear is that those who do not teach their children at home right now, their children are going to be left behind.
Yeah.
So, but during the normal circumstances, I encourage persons to go to school. I encourage persons to volunteer. I encourage them to be active. A couple of years ago, myself, Pastor Jonathan Willis, and also school board member Dr. Coleman, James Coleman, we started a men to school event where we got about 300 men to welcome our kids back to school at the beginning of the school year and also at the beginning in January. Again, we're showing, kids don't see a lot of men in the schools, so we're showing our kids that we love them, that we support them, and that we're there for them. So those type of initiatives and getting people to volunteer at the schools from the men to school to the men of March and having donuts with the kids and reading books to the kids and we got various other requests from various other schools that they want to see more men volunteering, more men working. So I'm continuing to network with the pool of men that we have so we can volunteer and be seen in our schools. So that's how I support the school system. That's how I support education, from through the tutoring programs to getting men to volunteer. And when the school board superintendent, when she comes to present her budget, we ask us hard questions. We make them accountable for the funds. We make them accountable for the progress of our kids, for the graduation rate, for the No Child Left Behind and various other things. But again, we as a people, we got to recognize we have a part to play. A teacher can't do it alone. The superintendent can't do it alone. We can throw her under the bus if we want to. But again, if we throw her under the bus, our kids are going with her.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to all of us to make sure that we're supporting our kids, make sure we're supporting our teachers. Go to the schools. If the teacher don't want you in the school, then give me a call.
Yeah.
But we got to go to the schools. We got to go to the PTA meetings. We got to make sure our children are behaving themselves. We got to make sure our children are getting their rest. All of us got a part to play.
Yeah.
So we have workshops at Jubilee for parents and how to help their child on the SOL or how to help their child with the homework or how to help their child in studying. We have a free computer lab where kids can come and get support. Now they have the Chromebooks in schools. Right now, during this time period where they're out of school, they can come to Jubilee and use those Chromebooks in the tutoring program. Right now, we're open for essential kids, but we can let other kids come and use like a computer lab if they need to. So we have resources that I have at my table that can benefit from my community. So that's how I support education, about supporting every child by name and by need and see what need they have to be successful. Because I understand the importance of that.
Yeah.
And also for a safe community. Everybody wants to live in a safe community, whether you're in '03 or whether you're in '01 or '04 or '05, wherever you live, you want to live in a safe community. And how do we do a safe community? By partnering with various organizations. I can't do it alone. So I partner with the police department, which is called the Community Action Network Team, the CAT team, Community Action Team. I partner with them and Pastor Coleman, Pastor Cam, on various projects they do monthly to kind of bridge the difference between the police department, sheriff department, common attorney, fire department. They work with persons in the community to build a stronger relationship. So I work with that committee and various other committees where you're out there in the community showing that voice. go to different community meetings, showing that voice to see what is your concerns about this. We had a crime here. We had a shooting here. We had a murder here. Walking the streets with the apparent persons who were next door to a gentleman that got shot and killed. And being that voice so they feel that they're safe in that community. And making sure our police is trying to solve the crimes. So the safe community, making sure we're doing that. Also, I started a mentoring program almost 30 years ago. I continue to mentor that program now. Always has been an award too. We've mentored about 500 young men in our community. Majority of them don't have fathers in the home. I continue to do that. That's how we're going to change this world, about changing our young men, giving them those father figures, taking them outside of that neighborhood onto college tours. Whether we go to University of Maryland or Hampton University or Virginia State or UVA or Myrtle Beach to Coastal Carolina, or we've taken them to tours in Florida. Again, getting them out of those neighborhoods and letting them see what a college campus is like. Let them see about fraternities, Alpha Phi Alpha. Let them see about sororities, aka Alpha Kappa Alpha or Delta Sigma Theta. Let them see about the different things, or Sigmas or Zetas or Qs. Let them see about fraternities and sororities on our college campuses. Let them see that about the higher process of learning, where I can visualize myself at a college, at a Morehouse. I can visualize myself at a Harvard.
Yeah.
You know, I have a BS from Virginia State University, a master's from Lynchburg College. I'm working on my doctorate at University of Lynchburg. Right now, I'm in my last final stage of my dissertation. Hopefully, I can finish it soon.
Yeah.
But again, I understand the importance of education and want our kids in our community to see that as a path to their future. You know, whether you're going to a four-year institution, whether you're going to CVCC or a trade school, you got to have the extra learning. We talk about poverty in our community. You know, we have about a 24% poverty rate in Lynchburg. So again, we started a Bridges to Progress initiative. So those type things that we've been funding, that we continue to do to address those issues. Some people want to take funding away from that. But if you're not at that table and making sure we have the resources to support that initiative, it's about 6 or 7 different programs, from education to housing to police, to reform in the justice system, to housing inequities and things of that nature. If we're not putting resources and funds and programs to those initiatives, then we're going to always be poor. We're going to always be left behind, whether poor is really a state of mind, but we're always not have those resources that we need. So we got to have someone in City Council that's going to support those initiatives to make sure we're driving that, to make sure we're at the table, to make sure our city is going forward. And then that last piece is about economic empowerment. Again, various training programs that we've done through Jubilee or through the NOW program through Mr. Davis. I work with him called the NOW program, where they work with training programs for women that might not be an electrician or plumber, but it exposes them to careers of that nature where they can make $17, $20 an hour. So, and also not just for women, for other persons.
Yeah.
So exposing them to careers, they get a higher living wage. Also, I did an economic empowerment summit at Diamond Hill Baptist Church last year. Again, we had about 50 businesses that let them know about the resources to our city, how to start a business, what resources do we have available for the economic development of our city that can benefit you, about empowerment zones, and various other things, about the Co-Starters program, and various things that our city has that can benefit a new owner, that you have a dream, you have a passion. How can I get my dream and my passion to come to fruition? What kind of resources are there in my city to recognize my vision and my passion? How do I start a business in Lynchburg? So we had a workshop on that so I can continue to do those initiatives. We had a situation where Flowers Bakery was going to leave our city.
Wow.
Flowers Bakery on Bedford Avenue,
Wow.
that was there when I was a kid. They were going to close down and move out of the city.
That would have took jobs and everything.
Exactly, hundreds and hundreds of jobs. But the gentleman, the owner, came in and talked with the economic development staff, talked with our city council members. When he toured downtown and he saw the investments that we had made. Now, several people wanted to take money away from downtown investments. They want to take money away from that. But I have to continue to support that and revitalization to make our city attractive, to make our business district attractive.
Yeah.
But when the gentleman saw the improvements that we had made and the support that we had in our community, he, instead of leaving Bedford Avenue, instead of leaving Flowers Bakery, he made a $25 million investment into that plant.
Wow.
and hired about 100 additional workers.
Wow.
So therefore, it was a plant that had been saved because of the work that we're doing in our community that some people want to get rid of. So we got to make sure, a lot of times when it comes down to the budget session, they say, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to cut that. But then, what kind of livable community do you have in? We've got to be prudent in our decision making. I have a accounting degree, I'm a former auditor, so we've got to be prudent in the decisions that we make financially. We got to have a well-managed city. We got to make sure we're not in debt. We got to make sure our bond rating is good. We got to make sure we have a balanced account in our system. So the only way we're going to do that is continue to monitor those things and make sure we have certain things in place. But again, you want to be in a city that's thriving. You want to be in a city that when you look in a city, you say, I like living here. I appreciate the walking trails. I appreciate the parks. I appreciate the academy, the plays, and the various great quality of life.
Yeah.
What kind of quality of life are you going to have if your city is shut down? If your downtown is dilapidated? If the buildings are boarded up?
Yeah.
What kind of city are you going to live in if you don't appreciate your surroundings? So it's an even hand we got to do in balancing our budget and balancing the funds for our school system and balancing all those funds for parks and rec. We got to work together to make sure we have a good quality of life, a safe community, that people want to move to Lynchburg, that people want to stay in Lynchburg. And we're not going to have that if we continue to cut everything and not have resources or tools for our citizens to take advantage of or a great trash system. We're going to be cut down where people are going to want to move out. So we got to make sure we balance these in a prudent fashion to make sure our city is living and prospering together.
Okay, yeah, that's great information, and I do agree with what you said, and you've done some amazing things, and I just want to thank you on the behalf of just me and my brand and just living in Lynchburg for those years and how you open up your doors to me and other people. And like I said, and what I love about you is you're connected to the people. You know what the people want, you know what they need, and you've been one of those people that were in a time where you may have needed help. So what I want to do is just end it with just kind of you telling the people what you think is important to know about your campaign. If you can just sum that up within like a minute.
I think I've been on the city council for 4 years. I'm going to continue to serve our community in Lynchburg, whether the election is going to be on May the 5th, whether it's going to be on June the 23rd, whether it's going to be on November the 3rd. Again, they'll decide that on April the 22nd. But whenever the election is, I'm going to need the support of person in Ward 2. And not just for that day, but we as a community, we've got to remember that our vote is our voice. And also, if we don't vote, we have no voice. And people died for that right. We got to continue to work together. And remember, I cannot do it alone. We've got to work together so I continue to give resources to people in our community of how we can make a difference by being active in NAACP, being active in the Voters League, being active in our kids' school. We can do this, but we only do it if we do it together and not apart. And don't let people from outside of Ward 2 or outside of our community direct our narrative and direct our footsteps. We in Ward 2 have a voice. We're in our community. We have a voice. We're not going to let people dictate to us of, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. We got to make sure we're at the table and our voice is strong and our voice is being heard.
Thank you. And Sterling, I would like to end it with this. I've just seen a couple stories and a couple of reports on TV where they're saying that COVID-19 is really hitting the African American community. So what advice could you give them to actually take it serious?
I think it's important for us to listen to the words that they're saying and be careful from protecting ourselves with the face mask, to the gloves, to social distancing. I think those things are very important. And after that, and I think because they mentioned it also because of certain health underlying conditions. I'm on the Free Clinic board. I'm also on the board for the Community Access Network on 5th and Federal. So we, as a people, we got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Eating properly. If we have high blood pressure, we're taking our medicines properly. We're following the doctor's orders. We're not smoking. And other things that will affect our bodies, like using drugs and things of that nature, are certain things that they're not good for us, like pork and certain other things in moderation. So we as a community, we got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves physically, taking care of our bodies. Our bodies are the temple of God. And we got to make sure that we are taking care of. I know you as a fitness trainer, so I know you do well. So again, continue to follow your instructions as a trainer. Make sure we're exercising, making sure we're doing our part to stay healthy. I think that will help out everything.
Okay. Well, I would just like to piggyback on that, just, for my followers and just people that are under the sound of my voice, especially the African American community. Let's do the simple things. Stay home. Try not to leave unless you have to. Unless you're going to work,
Right.
going to the grocery store. And when you do leave, use gloves, wear a mask. Use a bandana and hair bows. You can go on YouTube and see plenty of videos on how to make those masks. And let's make sure we wash our hands.
Right.
So if we can invest an hour and 11 hip hop, 30 minutes into these shows, and people are watching Netflix. So let's wash our hands for 20 seconds. And trust me, you have infants in your house, you have elderly in your house, and sometimes you got to think about it. Some people don't really have big houses where you can just quarantine one person. So because of that, let's look at those risks and let's really start exercising those clean habits. And Sterling, I would like to, as a thank you token, my wife has been making masks. So
Okay. Oh,
just
wow.
want to give you the mask that way you can protect
Thank you.
yourself as you fight and have your seat at the table.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're so kind.
Oh yeah. It's like
Excellent.
I appreciate it, man. You're
Yes,
someone
sir.
that I look up to, and just seeing how you climb the ladder. And I think it's good for us young African American males to see a person like you.
Yes.
So you're not just looking at being an entertainer or an athlete. And I appreciate it because Sterling has opened up his doors to me, for my brand, Bulletproof Workouts,
Yes.
and different things that I've done for my mother, blessed to be a blessing. He's always connecting himself with people and giving his resources that he's gained and not being selfish to other people who can also help and impact their community. So again, I say thank you. And I would just like to end with, if you can just give them 30 seconds of some type of motivational advice, and then we'll take it out.
I'm again thankful for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your listeners and your following for the work you're doing. Again, I'm just honored. But again, we have got to be at the table. And that once we get to the table, we got to build our own table. And if we don't vote, we will not have a table.
Yeah.
And a table taken from us. So people in Ward 2 or wherever you live in our community, in our country, and I know these broadcasts, they go all over the country. We have a voice, and the voice is our vote. And we have got to exercise that right. We can never sit back. We got to exercise that right. And it's so important to be active in our community to make a difference.
And remember, just coming from the words of TeflonJohn, remember, any little thing counts. Any little thing counts. Any when you're talking about planting a seed, you're watering it.
Yep.
So make sure that you water that seed. And I just want to leave you guys with the fact of what Sterling said was powerful, that he heard from that lady, that if you don't have a seat at the table, you'll end up on the menu.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of things in our world, not only our country, but in the world, where a lot of people are misrepresented, and a lot of people are taking advantage of them not using their voice. Sometimes it's not that we don't have a voice, it's you're not using your voice. And then knowing someone like Sterling or myself that have platforms where we can help get that word out. You can email us, you can contact us. I'll put all that information in the links below. And if you want to learn more about Sterling, I'll be putting that link in the comment section. So again, I would just like to thank you guys. And as I always say, one love, be blessed. Thank you for watching part 3 of my 3-part series of my interview with Lynchburg City Councilman Sterling Wilder. The Art of Reinvention show is back, and I appreciate all of your support. Stay tuned for 2 more weeks, and we'll have another episode coming your way. One love, be blessed.